And so with Blacklist Universe, like, what's the overarching plan? Like, how many titles do you want to have? How many titles do you currently have? And what's the plan?
In production, I have Lonestar, which is on Indiegogo as we're recording this. We'll probably be into Lonestar 2 or 3 by the time this airs. I'm not sure. Just look up Lonestar on Indiegogo. Then I have The Nuclear Family in production. That is about, it's sort of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids meets The Incredibles, where this father is like this kind of crazy inventor type character, and he creates a projector and imaging device that can create three-dimensional photographs. But what he doesn't realize is that he's using a multi-dimensional like algorithms in order to do this. It's like just kind of a mistake in his math, right? And so he goes to take a family portrait with this machine, and it transports them into another dimension. This dimension alters their DNA, and they return with powers. Like, so the father is sort of like multiple man.
Okay.
But each multiple has a particular facet of his personality that is dominant.
Got it.
So you can have anger, you can have logic, you can have fear. You know, you can have these different. Because like my kids always ask me what power I would want if I was a superhero, and I'm always so like practical about it. I'm like, geez, I really do wish there were like 3 of me.
I know, right? You and me both. I think that'd be so you'd get a lot more done. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So that's why the father has that, and the mother has sort of like telepathic abilities. The daughter is the powerhouse. She's a 10-year-old kid, but she can manipulate mass. So
that's fun.
Yeah. And then the son can manipulate like light and the electromagnetic spectrum and stuff like that. So together they are the nuclear family.
I love it.
And so also I have Godsword. It's in the works. The writing is being done now. Ben Avery is going to co-write it with me. Paolo Pantalina is supposed to be drawing it, but I need to talk to him at this show. He hasn't turned in anything.
Got it.
But yeah, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
But Paolo, I wrote Godsword way back when we were doing Alias, and he was supposed to do the Godsword originally, and that was before he was ever published by anybody. You know, now he's like on Batman and the Outsiders or whatever book at DC. It's been 10, 12 years, something like that. And so, like, I asked him at San Diego, and I'm like, hey, would you want to work on Godsword? And he goes, yeah, man. So, so hopefully that will get into the works at some point. Godsword is about a girl named Eden, who is the daughter of a Jewish archaeologist and, like, an Ethiopian princess. And in one of their digs, they discover the golden sword, the hilt of the golden sword, the golden hilt of the flaming sword that guarded the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm. So this was Michael's sword?
No. That's this weird thing. That's why it popped out to me and it gave me the idea, is because when you're reading through Genesis, it says at the entry to the Garden of Eden, God placed 2 cherubim and a flaming sword that turned this way and that. Not 2 cherubim with flaming swords.
Yeah, it's also a flaming sword.
2 cherubim and a flaming sword. I'm like, dude, there's a flaming sword out there that turns this way and that to you know.
I love it.
Yeah, so people really want me to get on that one, but I have to wait for the right people.
Team and to get it.
I have the right team. I just need them to do their work. I have other projects in longer term planning stages, but I'm taking this one step at a time.
Yeah.
I have a 10, 20 year plan with this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, so. I've been there. I've been doing comic books and getting my own self-publishing stuff, and one at a time is the only way to do it, and make sure you do them to the best quality and you're able to get it out, and it's definitely not a sprint. It's a marathon. Yeah.
And you know, that's the amazing thing about the Indiegogo, at least when it works, is that you can take the time to do your best work. This cookie cutter mentality, I was just talking to Ed McGinnis about this on the way here. The cookie cutter mentality, the you're on a contract, you get this many books done, you know, schedule. I mean, I understand it as a business, and as a business it works, but creatively, there's a reason almost every comic book that you read in today is better off in the trash can, you know, because you're never going to read it again.
It's
right?
Interesting though, because there's you know, there's also a law that says that, you know, if you have a month to get a project done, it'll take you those last 3 days of like that push to make sure that it gets done, because there's a deadline and there's also something there. So it's interesting that even with a longer timeline, some people would still go, oh no, I'll get to that, and then they would do it in the last 3 days.
I'm not interested in that. But
yeah, I'm just telling you that that's just how some people are, you know.
No, dude, I've been in this meat grinder for a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've got, how many books have I done, and how few of them would I want to read twice? Because I was part of that meat grinder. I was part of that. Hey, we need these 11 pages done in 3 days. Can you do it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how are you supposed to get inspired, quality work
when it's like just go?
Yeah, it's not. It's you know, I'm an editor. I've got 12 books to do. Let's just find 12 competent people to write, and competent is not inspired.
Yeah,
you want both.
Yeah,
you know,
people who are just super dedicated and super have great ideas, brilliant ideas, and
what you want if you have a company and you're trying to create great comic books is a stable of highly skilled, absolute fanboys.
Yeah.
Fangirls.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
They have to be so nerded out by this stuff. They have to have been dreaming of 12 different
ways that
great ideas since they were kids. You know, 20 things Spider-Man has never done that I want to accomplish. If you're just like, hey, Joe, you need work?
Yeah.
Here's freaking Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's gonna punch the Green Goblin, and then he's gonna punch the Hobgoblin, and then we're gonna get a check, and that's that. But that's I agree with you. It's about doing quality work and getting people who are hungry and have that passion within themselves, because that's the stuff that people really speaks volumes, and kind of like they'll live on. The trades live on, and
take it back to the 80s. Take it back to Jim Shooter. The way Jim Shooter hired, he hired great people with great ideas and just let them do great work.
Yeah,
he didn't have he wasn't hand up the back puppet master trying to control every little thing and trying to steer everything into event after event after event. I mean, he did do events. He originated the events.
Yeah, he did. He was in charge of
Secret Wars.
Didn't he do Infinity War as well?
War. Yeah.
And so he was definitely a still big event. You know what's interesting though is whenever you're creating universe building, the way you learn about different characters and stuff is through events. Because if your character, say, for whatever reason you're a fan of, Green Lantern, you go, okay, Green Lantern's the one book I'm reading it every month, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, Green Lantern's now in this event book where he's in here with now, Starfire and Wonder Woman and all these other characters that you're like, oh, cool, Booster Gold. You learn about all these other characters, and that's how you kind of go from reading just Green Lantern to reading all these other new books.
Yeah, but that can be so limiting, because when you have a wide ensemble like that, who gets the play? Who gets the play? It's Wolverine and Spider-Man are going to get the play.
Yeah.
Captain America maybe. So what you need to do is remember, you're not old enough. So when I was a kid, I was never interested in Daredevil, right? Loved Wolverine. And then one issue of Daredevil had Wolverine holding Daredevil up by one arm on the cover, and I'm like, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
And then I totally got into Daredevil. So you introduce, and I'm planning on doing this with Blacklist as well, where we're introducing, the other books that are coming
through the characters that you have already.
Yeah, and it is a shared universe, obviously, so you get this interplay. But yeah, and there will be an event. It's called Harmony, and it's based on an idea that I came up with in 1990.
Oh, wow.
It's an old idea.
That's awesome. It's been percolating for a long time. Like you think about, Spawn was Todd McFarlane's idea since he was a 16-year-old kid, and he kind of just ran with it, and now it's coming on its second movie, and it's been around since 1992, 1991.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to kind of see the evolution of how things kind of come, even as a kid or since the 1990s to now. It's kind of cool.